Welcome to Book Time with Ryan. I am Ryan, and today I will be talking about Petty, the biography by Warren Zanes. There's Tom Petty. Tom Petty is probably my favorite, or at least one of my top three. Probably my top favorite. Probably my favorite artist. Singer, songwriter, band leader, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I love his stuff. I had this book. I don't know when I bought it, but it was published in 2015. And then my wife got it for me too. And I just had this desire to finally read it. And it was interesting. I don't read a lot of biographies. And while I love Tom Petty's music, I don't know a lot of the backstory on Tom Petty. So this helped with that. Also, I'm 41. And a lot of the build up to Tom Petty's fame and his early stuff is before I was really able to appreciate it as a kid. So a lot of this stuff was new. I have to say that I'm at a point in my life where I don't get excited for celebrities. It's cool when they do stuff. It's neat to see, but I'm not like, I want to follow everything they do, and I'm just hero worship. Everyone fails. Everyone does something bad or wrong or whatever, and when you have this hero celebrity worship, you're going to be let down. They're going to do something to let you down. I know many subscribers worship me as a celebrity, and I didn't shave today. I let you down. So other people will let you down too. It's something you can count on. So I don't often feel compelled to read about people. And because a lot of Tom Petty's build-up was before I was aware of stuff, there are so many references to other people and other bands that I think if you were really in the music scene in the 70s, you would get. But I don't. I just, and I wouldn't now even. There are a number of, I'm wearing a band shirt, but and I don't even know anything about them. There are a small number of bands that I know anything about, and I just keep it at the surface because why would I go deeper than that? I don't know, but it was an interesting read for me. We find out about Tom Petty's upbringing, his family. He came from the Gainesville, Florida area, dirt poor. His father was half Cherokee, so his grandparents had this pretty dysfunctional life in a time where multiracial families, biracial children were not supported much in society, especially in that area. His dad was an alcoholic probably, and abused him, beat him. His mom tried to show him love. He had one brother. I think his name's Bruce. And they really just kind of grew up loving Elvis and then the Beatles and the Beatle Invasion, and wanted to start a band. And then there was this whole musical scene in the Gainesville area, which I wasn't aware of. And the University of Florida, which is in Gainesville, just blew up in size, and you had all these young people coming in, and just a lot of bands started there, including some early Tom Petty bands. The one that made a comeback, Mudcrutch, which I didn't know about, and eventually took them out west to LA. Well, I think somewhere in Kansas or Ohio or Arkansas or somewhere, Omaha, Nebraska, somewhere to record, eventually out to LA. And then that band folded, and he founded, with some of the members from that band, um, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Most of what we follow is that band and Tom Petty. So much access to that band and individuals, good and bad. A lot of the friction in the band. I felt like it was a very open book, a very realistic look, which is, I think, if you're a fan of something, interesting, but also can be disappointing because you just want everyone in a band or a group to love each other and be happy. And when you find out that some people just never liked each other and they wouldn't like each other now, I don't know. That's real though. That's real. That's how things are. So you kind of read through the ups and downs. It really goes album by album, not song by song, but album by album. What was going on in their lives? Petty's first wife, how that marriage eventually fell apart, his kids, his relationship with his band members and other bands, ups and downs in his life, including drug use. There's a lot of drug use, but I guess there's a level of drug. I don't use drugs. There's like a level of what's like marijuana use. Cocaine I would think of as a hard drug, but I guess in that scene, not quite as hard to a lot of them. And then heroin, which apparently is, I mean, we know it's hard, but even in that community it was hard. So he had a very steep decline when he was going through divorce, and the band was having issues, and he was hooked on heroin and was treated for it, came out of it, married somebody new, Dana, and she really did a lot of things for him. Got rid of their drummer, brought in somebody else. There's more positive life in the band too, and Petty really experienced some of his own desires to make his own solo albums, but then he always brought the Heartbreakers into it. So if they were touring as a band with the Heartbreakers, even if they were touring with some of these solo albums or solo songs that he was performing. He really brought the band in on that. And then at the end of it, we see kind of this the Mudcrutches called out of retirement, and I don't know if it's really considered going on tour, but they make a couple albums too, and they bring these guys that were there when it started, bring them back into it. And Tom Petty dying. So this is the book's from 2015. He died in 2017, and I felt bad. I told you there's not a lot of like hero worship here, celebrity worship, but I had a chance to go to a Petty concert, and I missed it. I passed up on it, and then he died, and it was just like, I'll never see him live. I'll never see him live. And if I just could have, and I don't know if that was his last tour when he died, if that's the one that I missed or if it was earlier, but I really regret missing that, because that was one of those concerts I really wanted to go to. And I couldn't. He died in 2017. I didn't know why he died. I never really looked into that. I was just like, oh. But he died of an accident. What I just read was accidental overdose. The things in his system were hard drugs, though. Like there was fentanyl and there was opiates and stuff. So clearly he relapsed at some point from getting clean. And I don't know when that happened, but it's hard. And they talk about it. I mean, they lost one of their band members, Howie Epstein, who I know somebody who knew him that worked for Warner Brothers Records. He died of an overdose. I think it was an overdose. So they knew what could happen, but I guess it happened. I don't even know how old he was at that point. Probably his 60s or early 70s, late 60s, mid to late 60s, early 70s. I would guess 2017. And that's what we lost him from, drugs. So I'm sure that's hard for the family. This ends on a positive note in 2015, and it's hard to go from that and what seems like a promising future to understanding that he fell back into addiction, or I mean, he was always going to have addiction, but fell back into using, and by 2017 had died from it. But Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, just such a good band. I don't even know what songs I'm going to use for this video. I've used a number of his songs in past videos, but to use, what would I use for the book about him? I don't know. So I don't know. There's an album that I purchased after reading this, and I'll use a song from that. But I'll use that at the end. That was the one that they said was really like one of his masterpieces from his heart, and I didn't even know it existed. So that's probably what I'll use as the closing song, but who knows what I'll use for the opening. Petty. If you like Tom Petty, I think this is a must read. If you like 70s, 80s, 90s bands, hillbilly rock, rockabilly, pop, rock and roll, lifestyle, this is an unvarnished, it says, Petty and Zanes have decided to tell the unvarnished truth. And the result is not only a definitive account of Petty's life, but one of the best rock biographies in recent memory. That's from Rolling Stone. It was good. It was good. It's not something I usually read, but it's about somebody that I liked, and I'm happy I read it. I give it 5 stars. It really is. Zanes makes you feel like he's on the road with them. Like you're on the bus with the band, and you're really kind of experiencing the highs and the lows. Good stuff. So, Petty, the biography. 5 stars. Warren Zanes. Check it out. Have a good one. Bye.
There's a southern accent where I come from. The young'uns call it country, the Yankees call it dumb. I got my own way of talking, but everything is done with a southern accent where I come from. Now that drunk tank in Atlanta, it's just a motel room to me. Think I might go work Orlando if them orange groves don't freeze. I got my own way of working, but everything is run with a southern accent where I come from. For just a minute there I was dreaming. For just a minute it was all so real. For just a minute she was standing there with me. There's a dream I keep having where my mama comes to me, then kneels down over by the window and says a prayer for me. southern accent where I come got my own way of living, but